What's going on, everybody? Cigar Titan here with some news today. Actually, woke up to this. Apparently, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been arrested by U.S. Marshals out in Washington and are being extradited now to the UK to face criminal charges. Looking here on X, and you can see Nick Lowell's. Don't know who this guy is. Probably not a fan. Says this is the best news to wake up to. I don't agree with that at all. Andrew and Tristan Tate have been arrested in the U.S. on British extradition requests. They face 59 charges of, you can see it there, trafficking for exploitation, assault, and offenses relating to indecent images of that and extreme, you know the word. So I don't know. Here's my thing. You can say what you want about the Tates, but not liking them doesn't necessarily mean that they are guilty of a crime. However, the Tates have said some pretty extreme things in the past, so do you take them at their word and believe everything they say, or are they saying things simply to get attention and eyeballs on them? Andrew and Tristan are basically recognized as kind of being the founders of the Manosphere movement and are no strangers to controversy themselves. They've said some pretty wild things in the past here, but I'm going to play a video of Andrew being taken into custody. It looks like this may have been a little bit unexpected. He wasn't expecting this at all. And you can see an officer there is getting ready to put some handcuffs on him. Now, they're going to be extradited to the UK. And while I say I think everybody deserves their fair day in court, everybody deserves a fair trial, I'm not sure that the Tates are going to get a fair trial in the UK, and I'll tell you why. Within the last 10 years, the UK has just turned into a giant cesspool of left-wing ideology. They've become a country of terrorist sympathizers. Look no further than London and what's been going on there. And so I don't know that the Tates are going to get a fair trial there. And I think this is going to play out very differently than what we saw out in Romania. I don't think the Tates are going to be released. I don't think they're going to be put on house arrest. Here's another shot of that. You can see they were actually out in Washington, D.C. within the last 24 hours, and from what I understand, we're actually meeting with some folks in Congress. There's a picture of them on the right standing in front of the Washington Monument, and there on the left you can see Andrew being taken into custody. So this news doesn't make me happy. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Other than I wish both of these gentlemen to get a fair trial. I just don't think the UK is going to be the place for that, and I don't think the U.S. should have been involved in extraditing to the UK. I question our allegiance with the UK right now. I know they're technically an ally of ours, but with everything that's been going on in Iran and their lack of support for the U.S. in Iran and just how they've been treating their own people, I just don't think they're going to get the trial they deserve out there. There's a quick clip of
the powers that be afraid of that message that Andrew Tate is bringing out to the world.
Yeah, I mean, look, Andrew is a very smart man, and I'm not going to get into all the accusations against him. I don't know the truth, or we'll find out. But I will say this: what he says is so powerful, and let's emphasize on that. What Andrew Tate is doing is he's communicating a warning of what happens when society becomes too feminine. Now, if I offend you with this, good, because honestly, it's the truth. By the way, for the ladies in the audience, I would venture a guess you are underwhelmed by the feminization of American men as it's happening around you. I hear it all the time. So as society can become too feminine, it also can become too masculine, okay? So we know what happens when a society becomes too masculine. You get Mussolini, right? You get too dictatorial, too rigid. That's where you quote unquote get the kind of authoritarianism that we're...
And Charlie Kirk's not wrong about this either. There has been a mass feminization of men and specifically in Western culture over the last 10 years. It's, they've been coming at men pretty aggressively. And Andrew and Tristan Tate have really kind of been the two people at the forefront of that argument, at least one of the more prominent faces at the forefront of that argument, arguing on behalf or against the feminization of men and culture. And I don't disagree with them on that either. I think men need to be men, women need to be women, and you can't conflate the two. But let's listen to what Charlie has to say.
What against? But have we ever thought deeply, what happens when a society archetypically becomes too feminine? That's an interesting question, isn't it?
Weak. That's
well,
what happens.
All of a sudden you get the complete disregard for rules, customs, and guardrails because you want to accept all things. You get feelings-based societal governance over rationality-based societal governance. It is the man's job in a marriage and when you raise a child to say no. That is my job as a father. No, 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 no.
It's crazy. Me and my fiance were just talking about this earlier this morning, and the role a man plays specifically in his daughter's life, and what type of a role a father plays in his daughter's life to make sure that she grows up understanding what a strong male figure should look like versus these soy boy soft men that are being promoted from everything from entertainment to music, politics. You know, it's crazy to see where we've gone as a society.
We are seeing the American man, porn addicted, lowest testosterone rates in 30 or 40 years, least married, least purpose, most suicidal in history. Why? It's because our society is configured towards collapsing the American man. That's bad for men, it's bad for women, it's bad for our country. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why Andrew Tate has become so unbelievably successful, is he does it in...
It's also put a huge target on Andrew and Tristan Tate's back, without a doubt.
Eloquent and charismatic way with a lot of wisdom. But honestly, is Andrew Tate saying anything that 30 years ago would not have been commonplace to say?
I don't disagree. Let me know what you think down below. Comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of Smoke Signals and Side Quests. We'll see you soon.